Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our tonight's webinar on SBL for December 2022 attempt. This is Hasan Dossani, and I hope you guys are keeping well. So yesterday was our day one of the webinar, and today is our second and last day of the webinar. And both these webinars will be recorded, and the recording will be uploaded on YouTube after a couple of days. I have already shared the handouts in the various WhatsApp group. Right. So let's kick off with our day two, and let me share my screen. Here you go. Right. So our strategy for the webinar was basically introduction to SBL. We did that yesterday. Exam techniques, we will cover it today, right after this slide. Professional skills, we covered yesterday. Formats, we covered yesterday. Technical articles, we will cover today. We will solve one question today. I will share the list of important topics, and finally the study plan for last 3 weeks will be shared today. Okay, so before we proceed, this webinar is based on CBE approach, right? And obviously this webinar is not enough to prepare you for SBL. So you have to watch few previous webinars. Specifically, you should watch my September 2021, December 2021, and March 2022. At least these 3 webinars you must watch along with this December webinar. Then you stand a good chance to pass. Okay. How to ask questions? You need to type your questions in the chat box, and after every couple of slides, I will take a pause and go through all your questions. However, please, as yesterday, please make sure that your question relates to the slide under discussion. I will keep 15 minutes Q&A session towards the end for any open-ended question. But during the presentation, your question should pertain to the topic under discussion, right? That's my introduction, but I already gave it yesterday. The main thing is, for those people who missed it, this is my WhatsApp number. Please save it so that you can stay in touch with me. And those of you who are not member of my global WhatsApp group for SBL, please can you message on this number, and you will be sent a link to join. If you are already a member of any of my previous WhatsApp group, all those groups are valid and active. So this is only for people who has not yet joined my global WhatsApp group. Okay, all my materials, lectures, notes, videos, links are available on this group. Right, so guys, are you ready for the exam techniques? So before we start exam techniques, I just want to underline how important is exam techniques for SBL. So in my view, although exam techniques are always important for any subject, correct? But in SBL, I think it is slightly more important because SBL is a very different paper. It's not similar to any of your existing ACCA paper. For example, it's a 4-hour paper, it's an integrated case study, 20 professional marks, so many formats required. So it's a very different paper. So the exam techniques which I recommend for SBL is slightly different from the exam techniques which you are normally used to following. Okay, so please pay attention. Do not try to apply these techniques on other subjects, and do not try to apply the techniques of other subjects on SBL. Keep it very discreet. Okay. All right, first thing first, when you open the paper, when your paper is open on the CBE platform, first thing is copy paste all technical requirements on your word response tool on the CBE platform. Do you understand that? Okay, let me open the test paper. So this is your CBE platform, right? This was the question we did yesterday, December 2021. So supposing this is your paper, you open the screen. So if you go down, you will see that the questions or the requirements are pretty scattered. There are like 4, 2, 3, and 4. So the requirements are not in one place. They are scattered amongst 4 or 5 or 6 attachments, right? Now, so when we are reading the case study, do you think it would be nice if you remember the requirements? Would it help? So that when we are reading the scenario, it would be nice if you remember the requirements, right? Because obviously then it will be easy for you to highlight or underline the relevant information which you can pick up. But then if the requirements are scattered, I can't remember all the requirements. Okay, so what I suggest is I copy paste all the technical requirements on my answer page so that all the requirements are brought together in one place so that I can look at them again and again. So just I will show you how to copy paste. Open up the word processor. This was the one which we did yesterday, I think, right? Okay, so how will you copy? Just take this on one side, open task number 1, copy from the bold requirement, this one, Control C, come here, Control V, this is 1A, and then scroll down, copy this one, Control C, this is 1B, and then close this one, go to task number 2, copy here, Control C, come here. This is 2A, scroll down and Control C, 2B, and you see, and so forth. Okay, so it will not take, it will maximum take 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. So this is 3A and this is 3B. So you just copy paste all the required, one more is left. Okay, let me do it. And then this one is 4. Done. So it will take 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes to copy paste the requirement, but it is worth spending that much time. So now if you see, sorry guys, it's hanging. Yeah, now it's working. So now if you see, all the requirements are on one page. Now I can read through all the requirements in one go. And whenever while I'm reading the scenario, I can refer back to this list. That's one. Okay. And remember yesterday's technique? When you are reading, when you find something important from the exhibit, you just copy that sentence and paste it under the respective thing. Okay. So for example, if I am reading this exhibit, it's about corporate social responsibility. And for example, this sentence I want to use in my answer. So there's a question on corporate social, it's question number 1B. Yeah, here. So I will just come here and I will paste the relevant sentences. And then I want to, let's say, copy paste this information. Control C, you can go here, I can go here. So you see, whenever you come across any relevant information while reading the exhibits, you can immediately go and copy paste it under respective questions and your answer will start taking some shape. Is this clear? Okay, just let me go through my Yes, Charlie, get in touch with me on WhatsApp, okay? I think I know the problem. All right, so done. Let me close it. So the first thing is we copy paste all technical requirements on the word tool. Then we copy paste relevant sentences from the exhibits under respective questions. So as while we are reading the exhibits, we know what the requirements are. If we find some interesting information, we directly copy and then paste it under the respective question. Correct? And lastly, prepare a skeleton of the answer before you attempt it. If you remember yesterday, before I started drafting, I made the format to, from, subject, date. I gave all the broad headings. So my skeleton was ready. Now I'm ready to, start pasting, start drafting, start editing. So making the format and subheadings before you actually start answering that question would really help you discipline your time management and your presentation. Okay. Now, the second thing is time management. Time management. Okay, Diana is asking, sir, should skeleton be prepared in the first 60 minutes for all exhibits? No, 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 no. Skeleton you will prepare at the time when you are starting drafting the question, answering the question, not beforehand. So for example, if now I'm ready to start drafting my question number 1A, so before drafting, you make the skeleton for 1A. Then when you move to 2B, you make skeleton for 2B, and then you continue with drafting. Okay. Is that clear? Yeah. Time management, if it's very important, in SBL time trap. Remember this word time trap I explained yesterday? SBL, there's a lot of questions which are time traps, especially question number 1 is a time trap. So time management, very, very important. So it is a 4-hour paper. And there is no hard and fast rule between reading time and drafting time. It's all up to you. But what is recommended is reading time should be maximum 60 minutes or 1 hour should be the maximum reading time. And then the remaining 3 hours should be drafting. Is that clear? Now, two things are possible. If it's a short case study, you might be able to read it before 60 minutes. For example, you might read it in 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 35 minutes. Then what to do? If you have read all the exhibits, then immediately start drafting. Do not wait for 60 minutes to finish. Okay. Second scenario is it's a lengthy case study and 60 minutes are finished, but still you haven't completed the reading. In this situation, what to do? In this situation, if 60 minutes are finished and still your exhibits are remaining, you haven't read all of them, you must stop wherever you are and move to drafting. Okay, very, very important. Is this clear? We stop reading as soon as 60 minutes are up and start drafting. Another technique which I have found very useful is that, okay, one way is to read all the exhibits in the sequential manner. For example, in this question, there are 1 to 8. There are 8 exhibits. So one approach is that you start reading all the exhibits in sequential manner. Okay, but if it's a lengthy case study, there's a risk that you might miss out reading the last exhibit or last 2 exhibits because the time ran up. The second approach, possible approach is, which I always recommend, that you don't read exhibits in a sequential manner. Don't read exhibits sequentially. Read the important exhibits first. Got it? Now, how do I decide which exhibits are important? So there's a very simple concept. There are 2 types of exhibits. There are 2 types of exhibits. One is called 1:many exhibit, 1:many, versus 1:1 exhibits. Got it? Can anybody guess what is the meaning of 1:1 exhibit? Can anybody guess 1:1 exhibit? Very good. 1:1 exhibit is an exhibit which pertains specifically to just one requirement. So it contains a very limited or specific information which can only be used for one task or one requirement. Excellent. 1:1. So there'll be one requirement and there's a one exhibit, and you just talk about link it. And can you guess the meaning of 1:many exhibit? 1:many exhibit? Yeah, the 1:many exhibits are those exhibits which contains variety of information which is expected to be used in multiple requirements or multiple tasks, 2 or more tasks. So in my experience, 1:many exhibits are always relatively more important as compared to 1:1, because they contain information which is supposed to be used for multiple requirements. So if you missed out reading 1:many exhibit, you are in trouble, right? Many questions will be at stake. So always I suggest that we first identify the 1:1. We first identify which exhibits are 1:1 and which exhibits are 1:many. And then we first read 1:many exhibits. Got it? And then whatever time is left In that remaining time, we quickly go through 1:1. Now, how Talal, please don't ask questions which is not pertaining to the current discussion. Hold it. I will not answer it now. So don't distract me. Now, how do you decide which exhibits are 1:1 and which exhibits are 1:many? This is very simple technique. The first technique is the size. The size. Normally, the 1:1 exhibits are smaller exhibits because obviously they contain information about one particular task. So size-wise, they are smaller versus 1:many. 1:many exhibit size-wise are larger exhibit. So a rule of thumb is 1:1 will be less than one page, and 1:many generally is a full page or more than one page. It's a rule of thumb. It works 90% of the time. Okay. The second thing is some typical exhibits like board minutes, meeting transcripts, annual report, website. These are some very common exhibits which are 1:many. So board minutes, obviously board minutes is something like the board is discussing things. So the board, they discuss about a lot of things, right? So board minutes generally is 1:many. Meeting transcript is again, there's some meeting happening between the board. It's supposed to contain variety of information. Annual report, 1:many. Website contains a variety of information. So these four are very typical 1:many. So by the name, you can also guess. And of course, the size is also there. 1:1 are normally financial exhibits. So if you see an exhibit which is just numbers, it's 1:1. Newspaper articles and some very specific topics, like big data. So obviously it will just contain information about big data, or risk register. So it obviously means it's about risk register. Right. So let's take an example of this scenario. So we have 8 exhibits. Shall I read them in sequence? No. Obviously, the first one I will always read because that's a background or the overview. And then it says Sealand's fitness and leisure industry. So it gives me information about the industry. I'm not sure. So let me look at the size. It looks small. It is less than a page, right? Yeah. So most likely 1:1, but I'm not sure. Website. What do you think, guys? Website is 1:1 or 1:many? 1:many? Okay. So I will read this one. Again, summary of industry research report. Very specific topic, and size is almost full page, almost. So I'm not sure. What do you think? So very simple. Where you are not sure, where we are not sure. For example, in this case, I cannot judge because the size is one full page and the heading is little bit, not very clear. Wherever you are not sure, you assume it is 1:many. Okay. Sealand Department Health Proposal. Now, this is a very specific heading, health proposal. So I'm pretty sure it will talk about health proposal. So this one is 1:1. Senior management team meeting. Any meeting of senior management, it is supposed to be 1:many, and you can say it, see, it is also 2 pages. So 1:many. Email from finance director. I don't know what that email is about, but look, but I can look at the subject, internal audit review findings. So it's a very specific email about, it will talk about internal audit reviews. So I guess it's 1:1. So this one is one. So Sealand fitness industry, I'm not sure. So 1:many. Website is 1:many. Industry research report, I'm not sure. So 1:many. News article generally is 1:1. And it says corporate social responsibility. So this one is 1:1, 1:1, 1:many, 1:1. So normally it's a 50-50 split. Okay. So I will read the 1:many before, and then I will read 1:1. Got it? Now let's go back. For drafting, you will follow 1.8 minutes per total marks. So if you remember yesterday, we have two types of marks. One is technical marks, one is professional marks. So total marks is, how do we calculate total marks for the question? Technical plus professional. So I follow 1.8 minutes per total marks. Now, the main thing is, yes, Diana, what do we do? What do we do if whatever is the allowed time for that particular question? What do we do if the time is up and still we have not finished the answer? So for example, it's a 10 marks question. A 10 marks question, right? How much minutes you have for drafting of 10 marks? How much minutes will you allocate for a 10-mark question drafting? 18 minutes. Excellent, excellent. Now, 18 minutes are up and still your drafting is not finished. What will you do? Okay, very good. So yes, I think you should just complete that particular paragraph or point wherever you are. Just wrap that point or paragraph. Do not try and complete the answer. Move to the next question. Leave it incomplete. Just complete the paragraph or the point which you were in the middle of, and then move on. Supposing in the end you are left with some time, you can always come back and finish it, because it's a CBE paper, right? You can insert, you don't need to leave a lot of space like a physical paper. Yes, you have to read all the requirements first, and then you will read the scenario. Got it? So time management is very important. So do you remember what is the meaning of time trap? What is time trap? A lot of students, they fall in the time trap in SBL. So what happens is that the question, the allowed time is, let's say, 40 minutes. And the student doesn't stop writing. The 40 minutes are finished, but the student is so engrossed, so, panicking, that he forgets about the time and he continues writing. And by the time he realizes and he completes that requirement, already he has overrun 30 extra minutes. It is a psychological warfare. A lot of students, especially in question number 1, a lot of students, they panic because generally question number 1 is common sense or tricky, that they completely ignore the allowed time, they get carried away, and 15-20 minutes extra they spent on question number 1. A disaster. Do not fall in time trap in SBL. Okay, Pratik has asked a very interesting question. Can we start with question number 2? No. Always start with question number 1. Okay. But Pratik, what's the guarantee that question number 2 might be a time trap? So it's not about which question. It's about not falling in time trap in any of the questions, right? But always start with question number 1, because question number 1 is very close to examiner's heart. No, don't start with smaller questions, this and that. Don't fuck up the paper. Follow the sequence at least in the start, because question number 1 carries a lot of weightage and it's very close to examiner, right? Just follow time management, khalas. You start with small, you start with big, you start middle, doesn't matter. Follow time allocation for each question. The moment you fuck up your time management, you will fall in the time trap, and that's the end. See you in next attempt. Okay. Now, how do we keep track of time? I get this question a lot. That okay, we will follow time management, but how do we know, how do we keep track that this question needs to be finished by this time? Very good, Preetham. Very good. So very nice. So how do you, where do you, Preetham is saying that we note down the ending time. For example, Preetham is saying if we start at 12, if we are starting that question at 12 and we are supposed to allocate 18 minutes, so ending time should be 12:18. So Preetham, where will you write this time? Yes, when you are on your answer, on the closure, you remember closure, where if there's a format, you put a closure, there you write 12:18, or maybe Preetham is saying bold letters at top. Okay, you can put on top. I prefer down, because if it's down, it will constantly be in front of your eyes because you are moving down, right? So always calculate the ending time. When you are starting a particular question, you look at the start time, add the allocated minutes, calculate the ending time, write it in your word tool towards the end, bold it if you like it, and then constantly focus on it. The moment it's up, wrap up that paragraph, wrap up whatever point you are at, keep 4 or 5 lines in between and move to the next question. You see, always there will be one question in your paper where you will not know the answer. Do you agree? There is always one question in your paper where you will not know the answer. Even me. Sometimes it's such a weird requirement. Maybe there is no information or that topic is just crazy. Always, please be mentally prepared. Jasmine is saying more than one questions. Nah, that's bad luck then. So anyway, so there always be a question where you will not know the answer. So you can utilize that time to always come back and finish your incomplete questions. Do you understand? That is why I'm saying move to the next question, leave it incomplete. And when you come to a question where you actually don't know what to do, so instead of foreplaying with that question, utilize that time and go back and finish the previous ones. Okay, I will come to it, Ariba. I'm just giving you some ideas that you will always get some time. If you manage your time properly, you can always come back. Right. So any questions on time management? All right. The third one is number of points, that how many points are we supposed to write? So the examiner has not been consistent on this. Sometimes he says 1 mark per point, sometimes he says 2 marks per point. He's not consistent, but I believe that you just follow a simple rule: 2 marks for a well-rounded, well-explained point. Okay, that's the rule I want you to follow. 2 marks per point. So if it is 10 marks question, how many points? 5 points. Not 4, not 6. Zahid, what are you doing? Why you are saying 4, 5? I don't like this, Zahid. When I'm saying 2 marks per point, it is a 10 marks question. You just divide 10 by 2, exactly 5. Not 4, not 6. Okay, exactly 5 points. Now, if it is a 14 marks question, exactly 7 points. Now, if it is 13 marks question, 6.5, right? 6.5. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So it cannot be 6.5. So minimum 6, maximum 7. Yeah, 6 to 7. Are we all clear? Because don't do this round sound. Minimum 6, maximum 7. Huh? Everybody clear? Because this really pisses me off, that such a simple thing and students are not able to calculate, then you don't deserve to pass SBL. Clear, right? Divide by 2. Now, there are 3 exceptions to this rule. 3 exceptions. Oh, this one is important. So 1 point is 1 para. So please also follow this presentation, that if you are supposed to write 5 points, then I need to see 5 paras or 5 subheadings. Okay, is that clear? Diana, when we start drafting. Now, what are the exceptions? So now there are certain questions which says identify the weaknesses and give recommendations. So you're supposed to identify 4 or 5 weaknesses, maybe in the internal control system or whatever. So the question says identify the weaknesses in the procurement department and give recommendations. So now if you see, there are 2 requirements. Number 1, you have to identify the weakness, which means you will identify the weakness and talk about its impact, why you think it's a weakness. And the second part of that is, then once you have identified the weakness, you have to recommend how it will be fixed. So for me, these are two different points. 1 point is to identify the weakness and talk about its impacts. And the second point is what needs to be done to fix it, the suggestions, the recommend. So for me, it's 2 points. It's not 1 point. Got it? So how many marks for this and how many marks for this? Simple rule. 1 point carries 2 marks. So 2 marks for identifying the weaknesses and talking about the impact, and 2 marks for giving a recommendation. So collectively, it's 4 marks. Do you agree? Do you understand this? Collectively 4 marks. So if the question is 20 marks, how many weaknesses are you supposed to identify and give recommendation? So 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4, right? 4 marks. So 5 weaknesses and followed by 5 corresponding recommendations, correct? 5 plus 5, yeah. And I would prefer a tabular format. I think we talked about it yesterday, that if it's a question which says identify the weakness and give recommendation, let's use a tabular format. Okay, similarly, another exception can be identify risk and give recommendations. Same thing. If the question says identify the key risks in the company and give recommendations, same. The examiner is asking you for 2 things. Identify the risk, which means you will talk about the impacts, and then you have to give solutions. Again, 2 plus 2, 4. Got it? So these 2 exceptions are pretty similar. We divide by 4. We divide by 4. Yeah, weakness for controls. Musa, identify the risk and implication. It's implication is part of identification. Saksham later. How many sentences to a para? There's no hard and fast thing, as much as you like, but not very lengthy. It's all right, Talal. Okay, now the third exception is very interesting. In a finance related question, give 1 or 2 extra points. Do you understand? What's happening? What's happening? Wait. Yeah. What's happening? Yeah. In a finance related question, give at least 1 extra point. So now what is a finance related question? It could be a ratio analysis. It could be a financial projection like NPV and IRR, those type of investment appraisal. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So in a question which involves a financial appraisal, like a ratio analysis or investment appraisal, I would always suggest you give 1 or 2, maximum 2 extra points. Why? Because finance is your strong area. I hope so. Or it's supposed to be your strong area. So giving 1 or 2 extra points might help you get extra 2 or 3 marks. It's worth it, right? Obviously, if you want to write 1 or 2 extra point, then you will overrun the time allowed for it, but that's fine. For finance related, I'm happy to, overrun by 3-4 minutes so that I can give 1 or 2 extra points. So for example, if it's a 10 marks question and it's not a finance question, it's a normal question. How many points for a 10 marks question if it's a normal question? 5 points. But if it is a financial analysis question, then how many points? Then 6 or maximum 7, 6 to 7, depending on the availability of information and how much time you have spent. But try to give one extra point. Now, someone asked me, should we use Excel for finance related? No, not at all. In SBL paper, you don't need Excel at all. Stay away from Excel because, unless you are an expert in using Excel, you are fast, then it's okay. But I have not seen any questions where you really need Excel. If you want to present some data, use a table in the Word document and you can calculate the numbers on calculator and you can do it, right? Okay. Format of your answer. Linking your answer with exhibit is a must. That's the number one rule. Adopt paragraph style of writing. So I always prefer paragraph style rather than bullets. Okay. Try to give subheadings as well because it looks nice to the board. It looks nice to the examiner if you give proper subheadings if possible. Leave one line between each point or each para, so it will open up your answer visually. Focus on formats, focus on nice presentation of your script. Look for stress words. So in the exhibit, while you're reading exhibit, you might see some stress words. What are stress words? Like very significantly is a very commonly used stress word in your paper. Extremely is a very common used word. So wherever you see these words, try to use those sentences somewhere in your answer because it carries these stress words. Use tabular format for weakness and recommendation type questions, and use of models is not mandatory. So do not sweat. Okay. The last thing on exam technique is what to do if unable to find answer. So as I said, no, Preetham. As I said that there will always be one question, hopefully not more than one, that you will not know the answer for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. You just don't know what to do in that question. So now what to do? So first thing is I will push that question to the last. I will not attempt it during my core time when I'm fresh. I will not waste my precious time on such a question which I really don't know. All right. So probably I will attempt it in the last. Then I can start by defining. For example, if the question talks about disruptive technology. Now, I have never heard about disruptive technology, or I don't know what it means, or I know what it means. I'm sure you know, but you are not able to find enough information in the exhibit. So you can start by defining what is disruptive technology. Now, please note that there is no marks for definition. As I said, SBL is not a theoretical paper. But just to fill up some space, just to warm you up, you can start by defining what is disruptive technology. You can then use the search and find option. So do you know that on your CBE platform, there is a search option. There's a magnifying glass. Can you see a magnifying glass? Let's say here, if you open an exhibit, can you see the magnifying glass anywhere on the exhibit on your screen? Where is it? Top left. Very good, Ariba. Very smart. Here. Yeah. All the exhibit will have it. Here. All the exhibit will have it. So then you can, if you're not able to find answer, then you should use the search option to see maybe you have missed out. It was there, but you missed out. And then whatever information you're able to find, just copy it and paste it on your answer sheet, explain that in your own words, talk about the impact. Just do little bit of flirting, flirting. Just do a little bit of flirting with this question. Do not leave it blank. That's the whole point. Define, search, write small couple of things and move on. Do not waste your time on that. Save that time and utilize that time in maybe other questions which you left incomplete because of time, right? Any questions on exam techniques? I am done with exam techniques. It's all about techniques, thinking on your feet, not panicking. Yes, Ali Abbas, good point. Ali Abbas is saying that these kind of questions are basically time trap. Absolutely. Some students who are psychologically not strong in these kind of questions, they actually tend to spend more time because they panic, they don't realize, they get blackout. How many of you have experienced this, that in a question which you had no clue, you actually ended up spending twice the time? You know? You think a smart CFO would fall in a time trap? Or you think a smart CFO should fall in a time trap, or he should be mentally a fighter? Yes. So please, you have to be mentally strong, talk to yourself, be cunning, be ruthless. Do not make these mistakes of time trap. Okay, you can do it. It's a mental, SBL is a mental exam. It's about your soft skills rather than hard skills. All right, so now let's move to technical articles. So there were like quite a few articles during last 1 year or 1.5 years. But then you see only the latest articles are obviously much more important as compared to older articles. The older articles have been tested in the exam one way or other. So I want you to focus on the relatively later articles and do not worry about older articles. So I have made a list. So these are the last four articles, okay, which you must be familiar with because these have not been tested so far. So following articles have been published since June. So since last 4 months, applications of new technology part 1, this was published last month. Applications of new technology part 2, again published last month. And then before, in July, responsible leadership and environmental sustainability issues. So I think these 4 articles are important. Other than that, all the previous ones, these ones, just ignore them. Don't worry about them because they have been tested one way or other, or now they are outdated or no chance of being tested. No, Diana, no. Those are old articles. I'm just going through. I think point 3 was tested in September. Okay, Jasmine. Point 3 was ethical leadership. You think ethical leadership was tested in September? Oh, very good. So that makes my job easier. Then probably you ignore these two articles because they were all related. Okay. So someone was asking, how does technical article help? Normally, there is a direct question on the topic of technical article. So if there's a technical article, then you must expect a question in the attempt. So for example, under responsible leadership was published in July, end of July. And in September attempt, there was a question on, I don't know, responsible leadership. And similarly, e-marketing was tested, market segment. So whenever an article comes in the next following attempt, there is some question on that topic. So I will discuss these two today. These two articles, actually, I had already covered in my previous webinar of September 2022 attempt, right? So you can watch that September 2022 webinar, day number 2. I have covered these two there. So if you want to do this, you can watch that. Otherwise, now because students are saying this has already been tested, I don't see any relevance now. So just focus on the first two articles. Is that clear? Where can we find technical articles? Forget about it. You are not supposed to find it. I will do it for you. So what I have done is I have gone through the technical articles and I have picked up all the important points in a very simplified manner so that you can understand and retain. Okay, so please do not waste your limited time on reading the articles. You will get a shock of your life. So applications of new technology part 1. So basically what they have done is, luckily the technical article is extremely easy this time. So can you, it's very simple article this time. So do you know, can you give examples of technologies used in our homes? Any idea what technologies are we using or can we use in our homes for automation and this and that? Smart lighting, very good. Laptop, for fuck you. Laptop is now old. Alexa, what's Alexa? Dishwasher, Ravia, dishwasher is a technology. IT, not talking of, I talk about IT technology. Smart gates, Wi-Fi and internet, my God, you guys are old. Latest technologies, smart refrigerators, solar, AIs, yes. Voice command systems, security systems, robotic cleaners, smart fans, smart TV, face readers. Very good. Motion sensor lights, very nice. Smart watches you use in your home or on your hand. Smart doors, yes. So there are so many examples, right? My dishwasher connects to my phone. Yeah, then it is smart. Sensors, smart locks, perfect, perfect, perfect. So the article gives some examples. He says that nowadays, because of all this cloud and smartphones, so many technology we are using in our homes, like lighting. So there are automatic light controls. You can control the lights through your smartphone, or they can automatically adjust based on your mood and your past experience. They are smart, intelligent temperature controls, security systems, like you are in office and you have cameras in your home, you can watch what's happening, you can talk to someone, right? Then there's Alexa and Siri, all these things. These are gadgets which makes your home appliances smart. The home appliances, they talk to you, they talk to each other using IoT, Internet of Things. What are the advantages of having smart homes? Any idea? What can be the advantages of using these technologies in our homes? Straightforward, right? It's convenience, it's sexy, it's efficient, maybe cost savings, maybe easy to use, more energy efficient. Yes, we don't have to work a lot. It's faster. But then, do you think there could be some limitations or disadvantages? Expensive, yes, they need to be one-time investment. What else? Privacy. Yeah, privacy is a big thing. Makes us lazy. Dependency on internet. Yes. Hacking. Privacy, how? All the equipment knows your thing, right? Don't you have your data? When you set up something, Alexa knows everything about you. People can track what you're doing, right? Hacking is all about, right? So very basics, right? So then the article says, what are the advantages of home automation? Remote access, energy and cost savings, it's convenience, easy to use, and so on. Disadvantages is relatively expensive than non-smart appliances. There's a dependency on internet, privacy threats, data security issues, and hacking. Very basic. Yes, Prati, good point. Alexa always listens to you. That's how she knows everything. And now, technology is used in travel industry. So travel industry means airlines or trains or buses. Can you think of technology being used in travel industry? Yes, so I travel a lot. So there's online ticketing. I can buy my ticket online using my smartphone or website. Online check-in. I don't have to stand in any queue. I just check in online. I get my boarding pass online. I do a self check-in. I baggage drop automatically. I don't go to any queue or any counter. I just go to the self check-in machines, drop my bag, print my, everything is on my phone, my boarding pass, my QR code, everything. And also you see, you can get timetables. What's the flight status? What's the train status? Is it on time? Is it delayed? So all these are technology based on GPS and all those things. Tap and go, yes. Google Maps, yes. Flight radar app, yes. Even Uber and Careem, all these are technology, right? I'm surprised the article didn't talk about Uber, Careem, and all those online. What are the advantages of technology in travel industry? Obviously, it's faster, more efficient, convenient. Disadvantages may not handle complex situations or safety risks, technical errors, data security or hacking. Not all customers, can use this online stuff. It might be a bit complicated. Not everyone knows how to use it. Fine. So you see, very simple. Common sense article, right? Now, Technology used in retail sector. So retail sector are basically, supermarkets and these online large departmental stores and hypermarkets. What technology can you use there? Have you seen any technology? Yeah, self-billing, RFID, barcoding. What's UPI, Rahul? Online shopping, catalogs, contactless payments. Yeah. Electronic point of sale, scan and pay. QR payment apps, very good. Digital menu. Just in time is not latest by just in time is 30 years old. Which NFC? Yeah, I've heard about it. So self-checkout. So here in Dubai, you just buy everything. You don't need to go to a cashier. You scan your product on the thing, you charge your card and move out. Self-checkout. Checkout free shopping. So in some of the retail outlets, you don't even have to charge anything, or it's just based on app. So Amazon Go is a retail outlet where you just enter, buy whatever you want and walk out. Automatically, everything will be charged on your app, right? Amazing automation. Chatbots. Even, you know what chatbots are? So if you want any help, you can, talk to a chatbot 24/7. What are the advantages of retail sector automation? It's faster, more efficient, convenient, multiple languages. So the machines, they can be multilingual. They can be English, they can be Hindi, they can be Chinese. So you can select your language. And operational savings for retailers. Obviously, you don't need that much cashiers and staff if you're automating your store. Easy. What can be the disadvantages? It may, these things may not be able to handle complications, or customers making errors. Customers might make error when doing it themselves. Not all customers can use these technology things. Frauds and shoplifting. People can just pick stuff and move out. The last one is technology used in banking sector. So what are the technology you have seen in banking sector? So I know about online banking, mobile banking, I think OTP, virtual cards, okay, virtual cards, Apple Pay. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Advantages, same thing, faster, more efficient, convenient, operational efficiency and savings, right? What can be the disadvantage of automation in banking sector? Privacy, hacking, high dependency on internet, scams. Customer might not know how to use it, data breach, financial fraud. Very common sense, right? So luckily this time, both the articles, part 1 and part 2, that's it. We are done. We are finished. Talks about automation in home, talks about automation in travel industry, talks about automation in retail sector, and talks about automation in banking sector. What are the examples of latest automations, and what are the pros and cons of each of them? Maybe. So yes, these articles you can very easily relate to, because these are very basic, simple, common sense, real life things. Why do we require language in retail sector? Because, not everybody can speak English, right? It can be in local language, English, like ATM machines. You can select a Akshi, in your country or city, the ATM machine doesn't ask you for the language, English or Arabic or Hindi. So that's it. Simple, no? Okay. Now, the next article is responsible leadership. It has already been tested in September, but if you want to watch it, you can watch my September 2022 webinar. Okay, very, very simple. And the same applies for this one. Now, guys, let's do some practice. Any questions on exam techniques and technical articles? We are done with lecture today. Yes, though. Okay. So do you want to take a break now, or we take a break after this question? This question will take 40 minutes. Okay. Let me see. I think let's take a break, because after this question, we will be just wrapping up and summarizing what we have done so far. So let's take a break. Is a 15-minute break okay? It is, what time is it here? Let's say it is 9:20. So 9. All right, guys. So see you in approximately 15. All right, guys, are you back? Can we start? Okay. So remember yesterday I mentioned that 25% of your paper is based on common sense. What I meant was that that topic or that question does not pertain to any particular chapter or model. You just need to, think logically to handle that question. It is good news for some students and it is bad news for some students, right? But I just wanted to demonstrate and do such a question so that you get an idea how to handle this type of a question. Okay, how to think logically. So we will be doing the same question. Yesterday we started. It is September, December 2021 called Optima. But today we will do question number 2A. Yesterday we did question number 1A. Today we will do 2A. And on your CBE platform, please open past exam library, September, December 2021 paper. And we will read exhibit 1 and 6. So let me go to my CBE platform while you open yours. So my CBE is already opened from yesterday, September, December 2021 exam. Are you guys ready? Once you are ready, please type ready so that I can start. Very good. Right. So just to recap, do you remember this scenario which we started yesterday? So basically, Optima is a listed company which owns and operates high quality fitness and leisure clubs. High quality fitness and leisure clubs. We are based in the country of Sealand. And we were established 20 years ago. And currently we have 55 gyms across the country with 230 members. We have high quality gym facilities. We also offer swimming pool and tennis courts. Very good. We have a wide range of age group. We have some website, limited social. It is increasingly facing challenges in the market. So although we are a respected provider, we are facing challenges. and the board is thinking how we can grow the business. Our role is corporate business analyst. So this we all had read yesterday as well, but just for a warm up, I wanted to recall the background of this organization. Right, so we are a high-end fitness club. We have 55 branches across the country, and we are focused on quality. And right now the conditions are challenging, so we are making strategies how we can grow the business in future. Now let's open the requirement number 2A. So remember, I mentioned yesterday that all the requirements, they have 3 components. The first component is the background information about the requirement. Then the bold portion is the technical requirement. And after that, the professional skills requirement. So let's read this. Optima's chief executive has been approached by Sealand Government's Department of Health to work on a collaborative partnership to deliver the Be Fit fitness program for children from low-income families. The finance director has been asked by the chief executive of Optima to undertake a preliminary evaluation of this proposal. What is this proposal about? So we have received something from the Department of Health, Government of Sealand, to work on a collaborative partnership to deliver a BFIT program for children from low-income families. Okay. Prepare a report for the finance director, which will A, analyze the potential opportunities and threats which Optima must consider in relation to undertaking a collaborative partnership with the Department of Health to deliver the BFIT program. 13 marks. And what about professional? Professional skills are available for demonstrating analysis skills. How? They have given you a hint. In considering and reflecting on the available evidence relating to the proposed collaborative partnership. So if you consider all the information which has been provided to you, if you include that information in your answer, you are done. Okay. So what exactly are we supposed to do? Analyze the potential opportunities and threats. So should we give 2 broad headings, opportunities, and we mentioned few opportunities? I'm just visualizing the layout. It's a report, and then opportunity should be 1 broad heading, and under opportunities I can give 2, 3, 4 whatever good points, subheadings, and then maybe I would like to see a heading as threats, and then couple of points under threats, right? Is that clear? Now, how many points are we supposed to write? So the total marks is 13 plus 4, 17. 17 divided by 2 is 7.5. So let's say 7 to 8 points. 7 to 8 points. Is that correct? Yeah. What are you saying, Raquel? 8 to 9. Crazy, man. You really piss me off. 17 divided by 2. I mean, what's so complicated about it? So can anybody tell me this report format is for part A only or it covers part B as well? What do you think? A only or A plus B? Both, yeah? You're right. So because the way it is indented, it is on the top and it says the report which will A this and B this. Okay. So we have to make a format which will cover both the requirements. So what is part B? Just I want to read it. Explain what is meant by value for money obligation of the Department of Health as mentioned in its proposal and evaluate the potential challenges this may pose for Optima in delivering of the BFIT program. Crazy. Okay, can we open and can we make the format first, the skeleton, before we dive into the exhibit? We will write task number, task it is 2A. What's the format required? Report. Report to finance director from senior. What was that? Our role? Corporate business analyst. Okay. Uh, corporate business analyst. Subject. Date is 6 December. Introduction and then best regards. Okay, and subject should be collaborative partnership. Or BFIT program, whatever you put, collaborative partnership and value for money. Is this clear? Any questions so far? And then, because there are two requirements, I will give broad headings, Control C, I will put it collaborative partnership. One and for one will be value for money. And under collaborative partnership, there is opportunities and threats. Okay, so now let's do some beautification. So all this here will be paragraph 3, this one paragraph 3, this one paragraph 3. Don't select all of them and do together. It will disturb your format. Select each of them separately. Value for money. And this one. This one can be center and underline. Introduction will be this report. I'm gonna copy paste it from here. Analyzes the Control C and done. Format is ready, skeleton is ready, report, finance director, Introduction is there. Collaborative partnership, that's the 2A, opportunities and threats. This is 2B, whatever needs to be done in closure. Looks good to me. Okay, you guys got it? No. No, Elliot. Now, let's look at the exhibit. So, can you see any exhibit from Department of Health? Exhibit 6, okay. Let me open Exhibit 6. It is Sealand Department of Health Vifhe program. Interesting. So, guys, I want to give you 5 minutes or 7 minutes for you to read this exhibit. And to be honest, I'm also reading it after a very long time, so I don't really know what's in the exhibit. But to be very honest, as a CFO in my real life, I do these kind of things. I evaluate proposals. So my CEO gives me, oh, this guy is offering this, analyze it. What do you think? So adopt the same mentality which I told you. Think that you are a CFO. Your CEO wants your input on this proposal. He wants you to identify what's good, opportunities, and threats. All right. So time starts now. Read this exhibit. Try and identify what are the good points, bad points, so that you can share your thoughts with the CEO. No topic, it is just common sense. Time starts now. Whoa. Once you are done, please type done. 2 more minutes. Take your time. One more minute. Done, guys. 30 more seconds. Okay. So just what is this program about? So this is some program that the government wants to run, and they want to target the poor background, poor children in the country, right? And they are coming up with a pilot project, so they will run it for 6 months to see whether it's successful or not. So for that, they have selected 100 schools with 20,000 students, and these 100 schools are where they are probably, in the poor areas of the country. And we will carry out the fitness level training, and we have to train the teachers. We have to visit each school twice a week. These are located in areas where household incomes are lowest across the country. And how after 6 months, how it will be judged, how we will decide whether the program was successful or not. So participant satisfaction rating, and then the pupil progress, and the pupil progress measures will be, the KPIs will be determined. They have not yet been determined. What about the financials? The government will pay 10 million for this 6 months, 60% upfront payment and 40% on successful delivery of the program. Right, guys. Very interesting proposal. The CEO wants your view about what are the plus points and what are the negative points. You think, are you able to identify few plus points and few negative points? So, as I said, it's a common sense question. Just a minute, guys. So what are the plus points? Let me see if you're able to identify 3-4 plus points. We will talk about financial in the last. Reputation, okay. It's good for our image. CSR, it is a CSR activity, good exposure. Yeah, good cause. Better relationship with the government, yes. Customers, what do you mean, Ravia? Penetration in a huge market? Yeah, what are you saying? The government is paying us, it's not customers, right? Image, product diversification. Are you crazy? Why the fuck you guys complicate things? Don't you remember I said keep it simple for exam purposes? Member retention will increase. How? I'll just talk about 2 or 3 basic things. Okay. Can anybody remind me how many points we require? 7? Was it 7 to 8? Yeah. Okay, so I think we can talk about reputation. We can talk about CSR. We can talk about relationship with government. What about from a financial point of view? What are any advantage from a financial point of view? I normally keep financials in increased revenue. Very good. What are you talking about rebates? What do you mean by rebates? Does the exhibit mention the word rebate anywhere? That is why you lose marks. Why do you need to cook stories on your own? Just says 10 million profit. Did you see the word 10 million profit anywhere? Just say, just use the words from the exhibits. How much is the revenue? Tell us. Got it clear? So these are the probably straightforward things. We will say that we'll draft. Okay, what about threats? Can you think of some challenges? Grants? No. Okay, revenue or grant, whatever. It's revenue for us, right? Challenges, hiring new staff. How do you know hiring is required? How KPI will be measured? Okay. Payments, locations. How do we know we get the 40%? Transports, not completing the project satisfactorily. Yes. Poor performance. What if we don't meet the expectations of the government? May disrupt current business. Very good point. Who was that? Who was that? Akshi, very good. You covered your weak thing. May disrupt our current business. Interesting. Bad social image. That's all part of if we don't deliver, right? The risks. Measures are subjective. Very interesting point, Talal. Very good. Very neat. Cost overrun. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Staffing would be a challenge. Very good. I think now which subject, which chapter, which model, which chapter did you apply? Chapter 2, chapter 7, chapter 6? Tell me. It's just common sense, right? You just read the exhibit and we tried to think on our own. What are the plus points, finance? So any negative points on financials? So on one side we have revenues, but what about any expenses? Any financial negative? Low income people, no Danish, they are not paying us. The government is paying us. Low profit margin, how do you know? Very good, Niambot. You are very smart. Niambad is saying expenses are not clearly stated. So expenses, why the government will tell you? Government will not tell you expenses. Who needs to analyze the expenses? So we as an institution, we will need to analyze our expenses, and then we see liquidity issues. Come on, man. Then we will see whether we are making money or not. Is 10 million sufficient or not? Is $10 million sufficient or not? I don't know. I need to analyze. It depends. Yes. So, you know, as a CFO, we need to analyze our cost. Maybe do we need to hire more people? What about transportation? What about logistics? All those in additional cost which we will have to incur. I will do a cost benefit analysis and then see whether, you know, we are making money or not. Interesting. Okay, now. So additional revenue, is that easy to draft? Can you link with the scenario? How can we link this point with the scenario? Let's pick up the easy one to draft. Additional revenue. We will just say, we will pick it from here. The Sealand government will pay we will just say the Sealand government will pay 10 million to correct. And what about, this is a trial program, right? Do you agree? It is a 6 months trial program. So supposing the pilot program is successful, what will happen? So if this project is successful, it can be a new source of long-term income. So don't you think you should tell the CEO this thing? Should we tell the CEO that right now we will say that the Syrian government will pay 10 million for the 6 months trial project, right? This will lead to additional revenue. In case the trial becomes successful and government launches this program, this will lead to more long-term, this will lead to revenue source in long term, to new revenue source in long run. Khalas. Anything complicated? As a CFO, I'm telling him short-term income is 10 million. But that's short term. If this works out well, it could be a good opportunity to create a long-term income. Simple. Okay, what about CSR? Can we draft something about CSR? Can you link from somewhere? So how is this a CSR? I'll just copy it from here. That we are doing a good cause, right? Children from low income backgrounds, only 24% achieve physical exercise. This lack of physical activity, blah, 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 blah. Class. Not, I don't want lengthy stories. If we are part of this program, we will be able to contribute towards the health of the poor children, and this will be seen as a CSR activity. This will be seen as a CSR activity by our stakeholders and public, which will enhance our reputation and may lead to increase in our members and hence additional revenues. Does it make sense? How will CSR help me? I will say it will improve our image, and because of that, we might be able to get more members and hence increase in our revenue and market share. So I just remove this reputation. I just say CSR and that's it. Do you agree? Pritam, more important than potential investors, more important is more customers, right? Okay, so enhance reputation, CSR. What about relationship with government? How will it help us build a relationship with government, and then how we can benefit it? How it will be a good for us? Any idea? Potential future contracts. Very good, Jasmine. So for other possibility of working with other government projects. That's good for us, right? Just can we write a small two-liner? No, don't talk about subsidies. You're a commercial organization. Healthy Musa, healthy relationship से फायदा क्या होगा? What will be the advantage? Just healthy, trusted. What's the advantage of being a trusted partner? Yes, that's right. So if we do this project, it will help build good relationship with the government. This can be beneficial in future as we might get more contracts of similar nature. Kalas, some point big, some point small. Meherwan, what are you saying? I don't understand what stupid stories you are cooking in your mind. You just need to stick with the information available on the exhibit. fucking talking about subsidies and subsidiaries. I don't know. God help you, my friend. That is why the examiner gets pissed off, because you start talking about so much things which is not even mentioned in the exhibit. That is basically, you are not linking your answers with the exhibit when you just talk about fancy, sexy stuff from your imagination. Don't get carried away. Stick with the basic information provided in the exhibit. Okay, Marwan, are you clear? So the more you will complicate, the more you will get stuck in the exam, not anybody else. So look at me, I'm trying to simplify the answer and you are trying to complicate the answer. Subsidies and subsidiaries, I don't know what you're saying. Simple, additional revenue, one line from the exhibit and explaining that. Relationship, one line from the exhibit, explaining that. CSR, one line from the exhibit and explaining it. Khalas. I'm not expanding my answer. Now come to threats. I think the first thing would be staffing, right? I mean, what are we supposed to do? We have to visit 100, was it 100 schools twice a week across the country. So do we have that kind of manpower? Can we spare that kind of manpower who can visit 100 schools twice a week across the country? Their transport, their logistics, I honestly don't know. So don't you think you should bring this challenge in the knowledge of the CEO? Shafiq, you sound like an accountant. Huh? Transportation costs. Why the fuck are you talking about costs right now? I'm talking about staffing, availability of staffing, their competencies. You're talking about fucking transportation costs. Shit, man. So let's talk about staffing first. What do we say? We will say that how can we link with the case? The project requires our staff to visit 100 schools located in poor areas of the country twice a week. Correct? That's linking from the exhibit. Now, what do you want to tell the CEO? This will require a lot of manpower and logistics stuff. We have, what do you think? Do we have, or let's say we will need to analyze whether we can do this with our existing staff, or will we need to hire staff for this project. That's it, simple. And let the HR guy do this. So that's one. Staff qualification, very good. So also you see, so staff qualification. So expertise. So let's talk about expertise. What do you think? Do we have the expertise, like whatever the government want? Do we have an experience of that? What do you think, guys? So we are gym, right? We are training in tennis and swimming and fitness trainers. The government wants us to engage with children or very small children, school going children. We need to train the teachers. We need to do some baseline tests. So I don't know. Do we have that kind of expertise or not? Do you know that? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. So don't you think we need to bring this to the attention of CEO? So the first point was about the quantity. Do we have the right amount of people? Now, then second point, I am talking about quality. Do we have the necessary skills and expertise? So how do we link with the case? Fitness level testing will be carried out. We need to train the teacher. Right? So you just say that the program requires fitness level testing to be carried out for each student. Also, we need to train the teachers and we have to achieve the what is the thing, progress measures, achieve successful outcome of the progress measures to be determined by the government. So what's the issue here? We need to analyze or evaluate, whatever word, evaluate whether we have this kind of expertise in our team or not. That's it. What else do you want to warn him? What about this measures are not yet confirmed, or how many points we have done so far? So we have done like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4.5 point. Okay, so what about these measures which are not yet confirmed? So progress measures will be based on several points such as participant satisfaction rating and progress measures determined by Department of Health. These measures are yet to be confirmed, correct? What's wrong in this? So what's the problem here? Don't talk about finance now. I'll talk it as a separate point. So KPI is not clear. Very good, Akshi. You are getting smarter every minute. So what's the problem here? Our progress will be judged. Our progress will be judged, right? Based on what? Based on participant rating, which is very subjective, right? And some KPIs by the health department, which we exactly right now don't know. So the targets or the KPIs, the performance KPIs are clear or not? Do we know that? So the performance KPIs are not clear. They are subjective. They are dependent on participant rating and the KPIs are not clear. So what problem can that cause to us? What do you want to tell the CEO? How can we commit to something if we don't even know our performance KPIs, right? We will not know how. Yes, we will lose revenue, but I will cover that separately. But if the KPIs are not known, we don't know what kind of KPI. So we will tell the CEO that first of all, we need to understand the performance KPIs. Then only we can decide whether we are able to go for it or not, right? We don't know the KPIs. How can we? Exactly. Can we explain that in just 2 lines? Discuss better with government before accepting. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. So what do we write here? Is that okay? Simple English. The performance KPIs are not yet clear. If we don't know what our target is, then we will not be able to assess whether we can achieve it or monitor the progress. Khalas. Whatever plain English you can write, just I'm telling the examiner that if we don't know our KPIs, how can we do anything if we don't know the KPIs? Very good. Yes, Merwan, that's much better. No, Raquel, bad point. Okay, I mean, one of the points. I mean, you guys are smart. You just need some direction. So as I said, a common sense question, you just need to attack it nicely, logically, without expanding it. All right, so now let's come to one financial negative point. So what is the wrong in financial? So most of the people are saying that let's do 1 point on financial. The Syrian government. So what's wrong in this? 40% on successful delivery of the program. So what is your concern here? Arrears is fine. What's wrong with arrears? You're getting 60% advance. So what's your concern here? Yes, Preetham. 40% is difficult to measure. No, are you crazy? Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah, so it's subjective, right? The 40% is dependent on what? 40% is dependent on what? It depends, it's the wording there, no? It's on the successful delivery. Does it say successful delivery? Yes. Now, how the hell? Now, successful delivery of the project is subjective. We don't even know the KPIs as of now. So there is a very high chance that this might get disputed because of the subjective nature, and because of that, the remaining 40% payment might get affected. Is this what you have in mind? It's risky, right? Just explain it in your own words to the CEO. How much is 40% in terms of value? 4 million? Yeah. So I'm just saying, and hence 4 million revenue, or revenue is at risk. How many points we've done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. If you want to add one more point, we can say project program cost. Is that okay? Safe and simple. The government will pay 10 million. We will need to analyze what are the cost associated with this project. Example, we may require additional staff, transportation. We will have to do a cost benefit analysis in order to decide whether the program is financially feasible or not. Khalas. So now, can anybody remind me the marks for this? How much marks was this worth? 17 marks. You can see 17 marks, just common sense. What was the professional thing about? For demonstrating analysis skills. How? By considering the available evidence relating to the. So did you consider, or did you include the information available in that exhibit in your answer? Yes or no? Did you go into the details of the exhibit and you identified issues, problems? You picked up some information like KPIs were not clear, staffing, numbers. Done. Khalas. Analysis skill is all about investigating in detail, drilling down, finding out facts and figures from the exhibits and bringing it to the CEO's attention. Very nice. So analysis skills is just not about finance and numbers. It's just about going into details and using information. Yes, Talal. So now just look at this. It looks very nice. There's an introduction, collaborative partnership, opportunities. We mentioned 3 opportunities. Threats, we mentioned 4 or 5 threats, total 8 points. I can add more points. I can think of more points. And I saw your comments, you were also adding some good points. But I will restrict myself to maximum 8 points. Otherwise, I will run out of time. I don't want to fall in time trap, right? Main thing is linking with the exhibit. And the only technique is the first couple of lines you copy paste from the exhibit. That will be your opening sentence. And then based on that, you talk about that point. What's the impact? Why you think that point is important? That's the only way you can link. Avoid using creative answers. Avoid using words which were not there in the exhibit, like subsidies and I don't know what not. So avoid using grants, subsidies. You don't see these words in the exhibits. Just copy paste some sentence and explain that in your own words, the implication. Khalas. Short, sweet, try to come out rather than get stuck. That's the whole approach. That's the approach through the entire SBL paper. Try to come out rather than get stuck. Basic logics. I like the point. Yes, it will affect our existing. That's a very important point. So maybe I might delete one of the points here, and I will talk about that it will affect our existing operations. That is our bread and butter, right? That is our main thing. So we should make sure that this program does not affect our existing operations in any manner. So now, common sense question, as I said, it is good news for some students, it is bad news for some students, because you have to just think logically. So people who are street smart or they have working experience, they generally find this kind of question relatively easier, and students who have never worked, they are theoretical, they find it a little bit difficult to imagine these things, but it will improve based on practice. So you think that today's discussion, you got an idea, right? So I felt that everybody was smart. I felt that everybody were coming up with the points. But some points were far-fetched, some points were relevant. So the more practice you will do, it will be easier. No need to use any model, yeah? That was the first thing I spoke yesterday. Any question, guys? Did you learn something from this question? Did you enjoy it? Always you will get this kind of question where there is common sense involved. And there are a couple of more questions in this scenario. So for example, if I don't want to scare you, but if you look at 2B, explain what is meant by value for money obligation of Department of Health, as mentioned in its proposal, and evaluate the potential challenges this may pose for Optima in delivering the BFIT program. Now, if you read the exhibit, where is value for money mentioned on this? I think it's just one sentence here. As a publicly funded department, we have an obligation to deliver value for money in all initiatives and partnerships which we undertake. So do you know what value for money means, especially in a government or a publicly funded organizations? So yes, it involves a small model. So if most of you are aware, the 3 E's, value for money is 3 E: effectiveness, efficiency, and economy. That's the model, right? But supposing you are not aware of a model, then can you imagine what value for money means? It says here that as a publicly funded department, we have an obligation to deliver value for money. What do you mean by that? Why does a publicly funded department have an obligation to deliver value for money? Because they are spending taxpayers' money, right? So government departments, they are their income, their source is taxpayers' money. So they have to make sure that they do not spend that money irresponsibly. They have to make sure that every penny spent brings the desired results. It's worth. Value for money means it's actually worth spending the money. It's worth the objective or the benefit. So can you explain that? Even if you don't know, we will say that being a government organization, it is obligatory to them that whatever money they spend, they have to make sure that the objectives are achieved, the objectives benefits the society, and it is justified because they use money from stakeholders. So what challenge do you think? So, there are two parts to it. It says that evaluate the challenges this may pose for Optima. So what challenge do you think it will face Optima? So the government wants to demonstrate value for money, time management. So the government is doing it for a social cause, right? They want to make sure that they achieve the outcome. They will achieve. The government wants to make sure that the program is successful. They have to show value for money, but this will be a challenge for Optima, because then Optima will be under pressure. They have to deliver maximum with minimum costs, right? That's it. So again, you see, this was not, it was kind of a common sense question, because honestly, not many people know what value for money model is. And the question doesn't ask you for a model, right? You just explain what value for money is and how there's a conflict of interest, right? Optima is a commercial organization. They are answerable to their shareholders. They have to make money, right? They cannot enter into loss-making projects. And government, no project management. Did you see the word project management anywhere? And the government, they are more interested in stakeholders. Their priority is achieving the objective. They are tight on money. So I feel there's a conflict of interest. And that will create some challenges. You will not be able to do this part B properly. This is one of those questions where you will struggle. So what to do? We just do some basic and we save some time and we can use it in some other question. Do it in last, yeah. Yeah. Yes, Christy, yes, but again, did you see these words anywhere? How will you link it with the scenario? Theoretically, you are right. But always, as I said, your starting point should be from the exhibit. Right, guys? So if you feel that, this solving this paper or this question was helpful, you understood the techniques, then I would strongly recommend that, you join my revision drafting classes starting from Monday, in which we will be solving 5 full case studies exactly in this manner, including Optima. And there you will be drafting on your own in live classes, and 3 mocks and 1 one script checking, all this. So if you're interested, please get enrolled before 7th November. This is the number, and this is the timetable for the revision class. Okay, so obviously in the webinar I will not be able to do a lot of questions or go into more details. Yes, Ariba. So in my revision classes, full case studies will be handled like this. We will spend like 8 hours on one case study. Day 1, 4 hours, day 2, 4 hours. So you will be drafting on your own, discussing in the same manner. And I think it will be really helpful for students who face problem in linking or drafting. No, Zahid, my existing students, you will attend these classes on Monday. Okay. Do not do on your own. All right, guys. So can I take a 5-minute break? Let's take a 5-minute break. And after that, let's wrap up the 2 days webinar. Is that okay? Yes, Preetam, you're right, but this question was not about SWOT. It was just in general terms. So right now it is what time it is? It is here 9:50. No, it's like 10:50 in Pakistan, 10, or let's say 11 p.m. Okay. 10 minutes break, and then we will try and wrap up the webinar, and I will take questions. 10 minutes break. All right. All right, guys. Are you back? All right, that's good. Okay, now let's try to, go towards the last leg of our webinar. Let's try to summarize, put all important things in perspective. So, this is a list of important models which you must be familiar with. Okay. Ten models. So it's like PESTEL, Porter 5, Strategic Position, SFA, SWOT, Corporate Parenting, and SOF, all this. So if you want to take a quick revision of these models, you can watch my December 2021 webinar, day number 5. Okay. So in this webinar, I have done a quick revision of all these models. Other than that, no need for extra models, right? As far as important topics are covered, these are approximately 15 topics which are important from exam point of view. If you want to do a quick revision of these topics, you can again watch December 2021 day 5 webinar. So you will get a quick revision of 15 models and 10 models and 15 topics. So total 25 topics. Okay. Is this comprehensive? No, it's not. But it will cover 80% of the important things. You need to now realize that very less time is left. I don't want you to spend time on theoretical aspects and less time on practice. It should be the other way around. So just focus on the top 25 topics and then rely more on practice. Is that clear? So this is a list of important top 25 topics. Also, I have a summarized notes. It is called ultra summarized notes. So in that ultra summarized notes, you will find these top 25 topics. And if you want to watch the video, December 2021 webinar, day 5. Right? You can do it in 1 day or maximum 2 days. Okay, now let's do a recap. Exam techniques. We just discussed all the exam techniques today. Like linking with exhibit is a must. Now you know the technique, how to link. We copy paste couple of sentences from the exhibit in our answer and then build on that. Time management, do you know the rules? Reading time is 60 minutes, drafting time is 1.8 minutes, and we will try to read 1:many exhibit first. You know the rule of number of points. We follow 2 marks per point. However, for weakness recommendation, we use 4 marks in a tabular format, and for finance question, we give 1 point or 2 point extra. Format of your answer, paragraph style, headings, subheadings, try to leave line between each para, and if answer is unknown, define, search, and attempt in last. We covered this today, right? Regarding the format, these are the formats you must be really familiar with. Reports, section of a report, briefing paper, briefing notes, memo, email, slides, letter, press release or website release, business case, project initiation document, and weakness recommendation tables. We covered it yesterday. Professional skills is extremely important. Extremely important. It carries 20 marks out of 100. But yesterday we covered in detail, and we also applied in yesterday's question and today's question. So I don't want to repeat everything, but I hope you are okay with all the professional skills marks. You will have to apply them during your practice sessions. Now, there are some issues with the CBE software. So all of you will be giving exam on the CBE software, maybe in the exam center or maybe from your home. So there are some issues or hiccups in the CBE software. So you must be mentally prepared and do not panic. The most one is the common one is this one. Sometimes the copy paste function from mouse may not work. So if copy paste is not working, then you can do from your keyboard. You can, for copy, you can press Control C, and for pasting, you can do Control V. You can also do through mouse, right? So you should be aware of both the options in case one is working, one is not working. Sometimes this also happens that, the software gets hanged or some feature might not work. Example, the highlighting feature might not work, or you are not able to insert the table. It happens. So you just refresh the browser and it will resume. 90% of the time when you refresh the browser, the problem will be fixed 95% of the time. But a couple of times when students, they do a refresh, sometimes their all data goes away. That's a very, very rare thing. Normally you press browser, like when I say press refresh. So if this is your CBE, just press this refresh button. And it will load everything again. Nothing will be lost. Theoretically, all the answers will be there, whatever we have drafted, everything is there. What if everything is gone? Then of course you will raise a mitigation thing. There is no refresh button in the exam. Oh, really? Okay, maybe, yeah, because the browser might not be there. It's a refresh button on the browser. It's not on the CBE platform. It is on the Microsoft Chrome or, the other one. It's on the browser. Yeah. Browser is not used in exam. Okay, then this is more applicable for students who are giving from home. Okay. In the exam, if any feature is not working, you can call the invigilator and point it out to him. Okay. What else was there? This one is also very crazy. Software might close 10-15 minutes before time. So this happens automatically. The software will shut down and it will submit your paper automatically few minutes before the time. Did this happen with someone? Anybody who has experienced that their software closed down 10-15 minutes before time? Half time, okay. I think one or two students said yes. So if that happens, you must immediately inform the examiner and you must apply for mitigation circumstances option, in which you will mention that this is the problem which you have faced, and then the examiner, while marking your paper, he will consider the challenge you faced while marking your paper. Okay. I'm sharing all this so that you are not caught by surprise. This is technology. Things may go wrong. It's not in your control. But at least if you are mentally aware of these risks, so you will not panic and you will know what to do. Okay. Right. So that's it. Study plan till your exam. So now approximately you guys have 3 weeks left, approximately. or slightly like 4 weeks left. This plan is more suitable for self-study students. Okay, this is for those of you who are in my batch, paid batch. You don't need to follow this. I will be managing it for you, but this plan is mostly for self-study students. It is very much possible to pass SBL using this plan. However, of course, a lot depends on student to student. Is it possible? Yes, I know students who have scored absolutely great marks by self-studying and the study plan, but it depends on student to student. So if you want to do self-study, because this webinar, I have got all kind of students, you must watch December 2021 webinar for quick revision of topic, and then September 2021 webinar for again revision of some missing topics, and then you can do these 3 webinars. Okay, so if you watch these 5 webinars, you are safe. You will know what to do. And then this is the first 5 points are the theoretical side. This is more important, the practice side. So now you will have to solve at least 5 questions on the CBE platform. And then after that, you have to do at least 2 or 3 mocks. Mocks by mocks, what I mean is that you will do it under 4-hour strict exam environment. Take that stress, feel that pressure, and then you must have your mock checked by some qualified teacher who can give you feedback, who can give you, where your weaknesses are. Yes, you're right. Yex Marine is 2022. Sorry, there's a typo error here. Okay, it's 2022. So, right. So this is a study plan. It is very much doable. You have 3 to 4 weeks. So 1 week you can spend on webinars, and the 3 remaining weeks you can do as much practice as you want. The main message is stay away from books and revision kits, simply because you don't have time. You have seen that SBL is not a bookish paper or a theoretical paper. It is a practical case study paper. So no point in spending time on books and kits. What you will focus on, again, for self-study students, use my ultra summarized notes. It will help you cover 25 topics. Watch the webinars, the 5 which I mentioned, and then practice as much as you can, including time-based mocks. Where you will find all the webinars? You can access my Google Drive. This is my Google Drive. You can click here. I've already shared this handout. You can click here, and this is my Google Drive. So all my previous webinars, handouts, notes, everything is there in various folders. You can browse through it. The last thing is, I would like to remind all of you that this is the technique to pass SBL. Those students who score 70 marks or more, they always apply this technique. So they don't think that they are students. They think that they are CFOs. While doing the paper, you must feel and think like a CFO. Think that you are a consultant or a senior business leader. You are not an idiot, dumb student. And you are talking, you are explaining to the CEO, to the board of directors. You are the finance expert. They are not finance people. So you have an upper hand. The moment you start thinking like this, automatically your SBL confidence will boost. In today's question solving, Did you notice that I was thinking like a CFO? I was thinking of talking to the CEO. That really helped. It will bring extra intelligence in you. You guys are all intelligent, but because you think you are dumb students, your street smartness is skill is hidden. But the moment you feel that you are a CFO, you will feel that your thinking process will improve, your confidence will improve, right? So that's a very important thing. Yes, thank you for pasting the link. And that's my Google Drive, and I can also paste the link of my WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group that which you can join as well. That's my WhatsApp group, and someone has pasted the link to the Google Drive. Right, guys? So that's about it. Those are my contact details. I will take questions now. If you have any questions, I am available. If there is any question which I have not addressed, you can ask now. Would you check questions? Which questions, Ariba? Working students, Danish, now you have to, attend all the revision classes. All the revision classes, all of you guys, you are now in your last month of your exam, right? So now there is no excuse. You have to prioritize, at least attend the live revision classes, and you will catch up very easily. Ariba, now I will not be able to check any assignments now. The time of checking has gone. Now we are into the November timetable, which is a lot of practice. I will just be checking one mock if you are enrolled in my paid batch. For additional mocks, yes, I can check additional mocks, but there is a nominal extra fee for that. Yes, Aishwarya, you can. It's optional, up to you. Preetham, free time, you just solve the questions on your own, right? But do not, if you're a paid student, then do not do questions which we haven't solved. Just follow with my pace. If you're a self-study student, then yes, you are on your own. You can solve questions as you want. What's the difference between section of a report and normal report? Just very simple. Just watch my yesterday's webinar. Both the formats are there. Then Preetham, just follow my pace, okay? No, Preetham, do not do anything other time. No need. Do not overstudy. Ariba, I will guide all of you. Ariba, if you're a paid student, then leave it to me. Yes, Ipshida, we will do the entire Optima in our paid classes, in which you will be drafting on your own. This recording, yes, this recording is probably, I don't know whether it will be in the portal or not, but it's on YouTube. So yesterday's class is on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. I will share the link. Yes, Akshi, that's fine. If the question says assess, what does it mean? Doesn't mean anything. Assess means assess. Don't get into these stupid nitty-gritties. For you, the main thing is professional skills. Evaluate, analysis, If the technical requirement says assess, you just assess. Assess, I think, means pros and cons. I really don't know. Just go with the flow of the requirement, whatever you understand. Day 1 is on YouTube. Yes, it is there. Thank you, Ali Abbas, for sharing the link of YouTube. Thank you so much. No, Hunema, do not attempt on anything on your own. We will solve it together. No need to do anything before the class. You will kill the suspense. After the class, yes, definitely, yes. All right, guys. So, Diana, it's at 8 p.m. Pakistan time, and I know of the time differences. So all the live classes will be recorded and uploaded the next day, so that people who are facing time zones can do it on their own. Can anybody share the PDF here? I already shared the PDF in the WhatsApp groups. So if anybody can share it here, I don't know whether it's possible to share a file in Zoom or not. Right, guys, thank you so much for joining. Please save my WhatsApp number if you need to get in touch with me. I will be most delighted. And I wish all of you the very best for SBL and for your future CFO career. I will see you guys shortly in my paid groups. All right, guys. Thank you so much and take care and good night. Bye.